In the party live from the GOP convention, and we're taking you along for the ride. From Cruz getting booed off stage to Trump's awkward PDA with Pence. Plus, Pokemon Panic, the accidents, arrests, and assaults happening on the hazardous hunt for Pikachus. Get ready for Hot Topics, because The View starts right now with Whoopi, Joy Behar, Candace Cameron Bure, Raven Simone, and Paula Faris. Now, let's get things started.
Okay, we want whatever you guys have been drinking. We want some of that. My goodness, you know, it was day 3 of the Republican National Convention, and Ted Cruz refused. He was unable to. Couldn't come out his mouth. He kept trying to say Trump. And he couldn't do it. He couldn't endorse Trump by name in his speech. I don't think it went over as well as he might have thought it was going to, but perhaps I'm wrong. Take a look.
Vote your conscience, vote for candidates up and down the ticket who you trust to defend our freedom and to be faithful to the Constitution. I appreciate the enthusiasm of the New York delegation.
No, you did.
I did.
That's the angle.
So, you know, we're going to be talking to Paula about this live from Cleveland in a minute, but yeah. I can't imagine that Ted Cruz thought that no one was going to notice. Do you think he's sort of set this up so people would be talking about him for one last time?
Ted Cruz is always out for Ted Cruz. And, you know, I want to believe it was his conscience that made him come out there and not be able to endorse. But he is always looking out for his next move, his next step, what he is doing next.
Is this
See, I didn't see it that way. I didn't see it that way at all.
I think so. I think
okay. I saw it as a person of conviction. Let's remember, Donald Trump talked about the looks of his wife. Donald Trump tried to implicate his father in the assassination of JFK. I mean, he said all these horrible things about Ted.
Then why go?
He gave him,
that's the key.
He gave him fodder. He gave him plenty of material to use, but I don't think that's what motivated that stance.
Really?
What do you think motivated?
I think he's looking down the road for himself.
Yeah, but this hurt him.
I don't think he thought...
I disagree. All the pundits say it hurt him.
I disagree.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of conservatives out there that were cheering this moment on because that was principled, because there's a lot of conservatives that have rejected Donald Trump and said he does not represent my party. Now, I agree, though. I think Ted Cruz, I'm with you, Whoopi. Why did he go? If that were me, I would have been insulted if you insulted my wife. If you insult my man, I'm coming for you. And I would have been insulted, you know, you link my father, you hit your wife, somebody's wife and their father in one fell swoop.
Why is it better to stay home?
But I would not have used the platform for self-promotion. I think it undermines what he was saying. I think if he had said, I don't agree with you, you don't represent me, I'm staying home, I will find another place to get my message across,
but the thing
that would have inspired me.
The Republican convention is supposed to be about the party's platform. That's what it's supposed to be about. And I think
what he was the platform.
But I think what
I think it was in Mein Kampf the last time I saw that.
What he was really saying was vote your conscience, vote common decency, vote constitutional principles. This is what he wants the party to be about.
Those were the words coming out of his mouth, but did you see that little poop-eating grin on his face? Like, he knew what reaction the group was going to have, and he came into it.
You know, and he knew we'd be talking about it.
That's right.
But, you know, whether anyone's talking about him in a week, we'll let you know.
Probably.
Yeah.
But how about this? Newt Gingrich, though, he tried, you know, Newt has been, like, cleaning up a lot of interesting messes of late. You know, he tried to say, listen, you know, we don't understand what's going on with black people. Back up. You know, Newt's like trying to get his head around a lot of this, and he was doing damage control yesterday, saying that, you know, the only possible candidate for anyone voting their conscience is Donald Trump. Is Donald Trump. Now, did that help? Did the cleanup help?
I'm surprised that Gingrich was his lapdog. That usually is Christie, who's the lapdog for Trump. So all of a sudden, Gingrich, also known as Chucky, doesn't he look like Chucky? He looks like Chucky to me.
Chucky, the little crazy doll?
The doll that comes out. He's like an older version of Chucky. I don't know. I like that little doll. Anyway, but the thing that bothered me about Gingrich is that he's a fear-mongerer. I mean, he's saying we could lose block after block after block to a nuclear attack. I mean, he's getting everybody scared and riled up, and they're using fear-mongering. And the last time they did that was when we invaded Iraq, if you recall the mushroom cloud that they were promising we were going to have. But I say, if you feel that way, why would you vote for a reality star? You vote for a former Secretary of State who knows about things like that. What the hell does Donald Trump know about any of that?
Well, I think part of it is that she has flawed foreign policy. I mean, to me, when I look at her foreign policy, when I look at Libya, when I look at the nuclear deal with Iran, these are flawed foreign policy.
The nuclear deal with Iran might work.
It's a disaster.
Why do you say it's a disaster? It's stopping them from building a nuclear bomb.
We trust Iran we have to, in order to investigate, we give them notice. We say we're going to come in and inspect. They have time to do whatever they want.
So what would you have preferred? Nothing?
But talking about
I think we should have made a better deal.
Jet, how about the fact that Donald Trump is now saying that he's not going to necessarily back NATO?
I disagree with that as well.
I mean, you want to talk about foreign policy? Let's talk about that kind of
you know,
it's like one of them
likes him.
Well, the bottom line is this: Donald's son Eric likes him.
Right.
Shocking.
He likes him. He took the podium last night, and his daughter Ivanka will speak tonight. And I guess people are thinking that the kids are softening his image. Is that what's happening?
Ivanka's a star.
So.
Ivanka is a star.
And she should be the president. I'd vote for her.
People were saying she should be his VP because she was going to cover up some of the stuff that he was doing wrong.
Listen, she'd at least have an idea of what she was facing. For me, one of the things you talk about being nervous, you know, what makes me nervous is people who say, you know, well, Mike will take care of that. You know, that's no, that's your job. What are you going to be doing?
Oh, Mike, the vice president is going to be the president.
You know, I don't want to hear that from.
I don't understand why people think that because his children seem to be well-adjusted, other than the big game hunting that his sons like to do and killing elephants and lions and tigers and bears. I don't understand why, just because his kids happen to be nice kids or maybe nice kids, that means that he would be a valuable president.
It doesn't make him a valuable president necessarily, but it does work on me when I see kids, because Mike Pence actually said you can't fake good kids. And one thing that I always think is, how did this happen? And then all of these little
there were mothers involved.
There are several moms involved here who I think.
There's only, to me, it's like these kids can only soften him up so far.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who made fun of the handicapped, okay? That, to me, is a deal breaker. I don't care how good his kids are.
All Mexicans are murderers and rapists. That's a deal breaker.
Well, that too.
You know? Talking about immigration.
Yeah.
You've had folks in your life who are immigrants. You think that flows well talking about them like this? And this is, you know, this is his wife was an immigrant. He knows lots of immigrants. Well, but this idea.
So all the immigrant supermodels are safe. That's all I have to say.
but why do his children make him a better candidate?
In general, I don't like when they card out the kids. I don't. Your kids are going to support, unless there's something really fundamentally wrong. Your kids are going to say, I mean, I'm not going to go out there and say, don't vote for my mom, don't vote for my dad. So when I see Chelsea Clinton, when I see Trump's kids, I'm not really impressed. It looks like they're using them as a prop oftentimes. Throwing them out there and saying, oh, listen to my kid. Yeah, we know your kid loves you.
They don't have anybody else. Nobody else wants to talk.
If I were
when in doubt, go to your family, you know.
They did have to fill a ticket with speakers, but I actually think if I were running for something, I would want my family to speak for me, because that's a character, like that would give some credibility to character. I think it's a big deal. I think you have to have family come out of there.
I think they
That's the one time I thought Ted Cruz looked human, is when I saw Heidi speak. So I think
well, he's defending his wife.
He can be really tough and impersonal. When I saw her, I actually was like, oh,
when I saw
it works
the kids,
for me.
I felt better.
Whose kids?
Yeah, kids are
Cruz's kids, because I thought, okay,
he's a dad.
I didn't buy that he was a family man, because I know the look of a mom who does all the work. I recognize that look. I see that.
Wasn't Heidi assaulted on her way out practically from the convention?
Yeah, people were, you know, it's just nuts.
Wow.
And I mentioned Mike Pence, you know, he's the guy that's supposed to be going to be the VP. Did anybody hear him speak yet last night? Somebody said he spoke. Did I miss him?
He did
came on late.
What did he say?
Mike Pence, to me, is very dull and very boring. I hate to say it. He has good ideas, but he sounds like that typical politician that when he starts talking, I need toothpicks to keep my eyes open.
And I don't think he has good ideas. I mean, when you look at his ideas and his ideas about women and health care.
He articulated the cause well. If you believe in that cause, he articulates the cause well, but he's boring.
If you want women's rights, you want LGBT rights, you don't want Mike Pence.
That's right.
That's the bottom line.
What about the air kiss at the end?
The air kiss. Because everybody's talking about Trump.
I love that.
It's awkward.
Oh, it's so awkward.
It's like, I don't play that, Don. I don't play that, Don. I don't play that.
I had a date like that
live
once.
somewhere else.
It was like Fredo and Michael Corleone, you know.
Get in the rowboat. No. Get in the rowboat. No. Anyway, we are not going to get in the rowboat. No. We're just going to walk around so that you can find wonderful things that you might want to purchase on our network. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Should couples have his and hers bank accounts or share the wealth? The ladies tell you where they stash their cash later. This week, the Republicans hit Cleveland, then the Democrats take Philadelphia.
The stakes are high.
And we've got your convention view right here.
You never know what's going to happen.
Whoa! Politically speaking, things are about to get hot.
Watch this show.
It's The View, this week on ABC.
Well, honey, we sent Paula out into the lion's den. She was right in the middle of all that action at the Republican National Convention. And she's joining us now live from Cleveland. Hey, Paula.
Hi, Paula.
Hi there,
We were talking about Ted Cruz not endorsing Trump. You talked to the Trump camp before the speech. Were they expecting an endorsement, or did this come as a surprise to anybody?
It actually didn't come as a surprise, Whoopi. I spoke with the Trump camp beforehand. I said, are you nervous about Ted Cruz taking the stage? And they said, no, Ted Cruz is his own guy. We know he's not going to endorse Donald Trump. But this is really a moment for Donald Trump to try to unify the party. He had reportedly heard that speech. He was okay with it. But just ask yourself this question, you guys. What would have happened had they not allowed Ted Cruz to take the stage? I think we'd be seeing a much different headline this morning. And at the end of the day, I think it really galvanized everybody on this floor and Republicans out there for Trump.
Did they know he was going to say, follow your conscience? Did they know those words
They did not know that, but they knew that he was not going to endorse their candidate. They knew that he was going to support him, but that he would stop short of actually endorsing him.
Paula, I have to ask, with the booing of Ted Cruz and then Newt Gingrich coming out, Heidi Cruz had to be escorted out of there. What is the mood on the ground? We hear a lot about the division within the party, but you being there, is it palpable? Can you feel the tension being on the ground right now?
Yeah, you can feel that tension, but just file this under the things that only happen at a Trump convention, you guys. I mean, I think, but there was a lot of anger and frustration on this floor because, Sarah, you pointed it out earlier. This was a moment for Donald Trump, and Ted Cruz tried to make it his moment. This wasn't his moment. Many think that this will actually backfire on him, but right afterwards, he spoke with the Texas delegation and says, I just can't support someone who has attacked my wife. I can't support someone who has attacked my father, but he's capitalizing this on this already, you guys. You're not going to be surprised. He sent out a fundraising email today to try to capitalize on what happened up there during the speech. But I want to say 3 days down, 1 day to go, and we had a chance to catch up with some of those that know Donald Trump best. With Katrina Pearson, who is Trump's campaign spokesperson. Day 3 of the convention. What's your assessment so far?
I think it's been a fantastic convention. There's all kinds of media reports because it's unconventional, and it's time for the media to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Donald Trump is not your typical politician. He's not your typical Republican.
But he has no foreign policy experience, so why are you comfortable?
Okay, so and did Barack Obama have any foreign? The guy was a community organizer. I mean, come on, look at presidents over history. There's not a lot of them that have all this foreign policy experience. And frankly, what I want somebody to focus on this country.
There are a lot of Christians out there, Natalie, that are having a hard time voting for Donald Trump because of things that he said, things that are pretty offensive. So how have you been able to reconcile all of that as a Christian woman voting for Donald Trump?
I think it's a great question that you ask. And I also think that these are the times when you have to make a decision on two candidates. You're going to have to choose based on what you believe and based on what you think is best for the country. And I really believe that Donald is best for the country.
Hillary Clinton is an institutionalist, not an entrepreneur. And it's a time for entrepreneurial government.
This area right over here, this is the VIP area where the Trump kids will sit. But it's time now to head down to the delegate floor and hear what some of the delegates have to say. Come on.
I like Trump. I'm really excited about him. I think he has a good chance of winning. And Hillary would be a disaster.
Do you think that Donald Trump could go down as one of the best presidents in history?
It's possible.
Even better than Abraham Lincoln?
It's possible.
Did it take you a while to get on board with Trump?
No.
You were on board from the beginning?
I wouldn't say the beginning. I like Ben Carson. He's a good Christian. And Mike Pence is going to do a great job for what it's all about, which is Christian, conservative, Republican.
I was for Mr. Cruz to start with, but I'm 100% for Trump. It has to be that way.
Can you give me one word to describe Donald Trump?
Dynamic.
Can you give me one word to describe Hillary Clinton?
Criminal.
Unethical.
Criminal. One word to describe Donald Trump?
Egotistical.
But if you look up in the box, Omarosa's in a pretty good mood. We're going to ask her why.
Let's just analyze this. Donald Trump took out candidates who had years of experience as governors, as senators. They had so much more money. They have raised so much more money. They have been preparing for these moments for their entire lives. Donald Trump comes in and he knocks out 16 primary candidates. Hillary had 2 primary candidates. Donald had 16. I feel like he probably has a better record going into the fall.
Got it. You don't think the country is going to say to him, he's fired?
You couldn't resist to say that.
I couldn't help it. I learned all my comedy from Joy. Joy, I'm going to tip my hat to you on that one. But Omarosa, of course, she's the director of African American outreach for the Trump campaign. And you guys, she pushed back on some of those polls that show that Trump is garnering little to no vote in some of the key swing states. She said that there is a big contingent, especially in Ohio. She hosted a private event. 300 African Americans attended, but says she definitely has her work cut out for her in the African American community. Make sure you watch some of our coverage online at abc.com/The View. But tonight, all eyes are going to be on Ivanka Trump, Donald Trump's daughter, arguably the most impressive of his children. She will be introducing her father, so make sure you tune into that. And Joy and ladies, I am bringing you back some gifts tomorrow, so just be prepared. I will come bearing gifts.
That hat that woman was wearing.
You want the hat? I'll try to get it for you, Joy.
All right. All right, baby, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Sounds good, ladies.
All right, Joy's heading to Philly next week for the Democratic National Convention. That'll be just as fun and just as interesting. And we do what we always do. We'll be right back.
Coming up, losing credibility? The plus-size supermodel getting slammed for selling out after posting
Welcome back. So a man wrote into Dear Abby saying that he's hurt that his wife wants her own bank account. Now that she's working and making some money of her own, you know, because he used to be the only one working and they were pooling all that money. Now she's working, she wants her own bank account. Is there anything wrong with that?
I don't think so.
No, I have it. Don't you?
Too, yeah.
I mean, you're alone now, but when you were married,
I always have kept it. Listen, there's what we do together, and then there's mine. And And then there's yours. Because I work hard enough that I don't want to answer questions about how come you bought that pair of shoes. Because I could.
Yeah.
That's why I bought them. Because I wanted them.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think it's important to have your own money to buy whatever you would like to buy. But for house bills and for the kids,
that's why I said
there needs to be that joint account.
They're together. But then you should have yours.
Yeah, there should be a credit card that we charge things for the home and then we split that bill just to keep it a little separate.
But if one person makes a lot more than the other person, you're still going equal on the household thing?
You put in what you can.
That's not fair.
You put in what you can.
I feel like you can divide certain expenses by percentage if you'd like. But I think when it comes to if you're going to buy a couch or whatever, like I think split it.
We put everything together. We put everything together. Even though, you know, sometimes he makes more money than I make, sometimes I make more money than he makes, and then I put in, you know, a little bit for my shoes.
Do you think this guy is threatened? Maybe this guy is threatened by the fact that his wife is becoming independent.
I think money is power and money is freedom. And it gives you an opportunity to make decisions for yourself and not have to check with someone else, and also to know that if you ever left, you would take what you had with you if there was ever, if somebody cheated on you or anything like that. So I think it's important to have your own identity, and part of that is your finances. With that being said, I do think that couples, I mean, I'm not married, but even when I date someone, I like to purchase things together. I like some things.
Like what? Like what?
No, I like some things to represent the union, whatever it may be. I don't care if it's a couch.
Let dinner represent the union.
Yeah.
You always throw that up.
But I see it as an investment. See, I see when people share some degree of expense, I see it as an investment in the relationship. So keep some of it.
What happens when you break up?
When you break up, then it's like, well, why don't I get the cat?
Yes, exactly.
But I'm generous.
Shouldn't buy pets, by the way.
No pets together.
I'm really sensitive about this spot.
I did that
thing
once.
Is,
I did that.
That's dangerous territory.
Yep, and now I have to have this separation with the dog.
And visiting rights and
visiting.
Yeah.
The dog?
But the biggest thing about
shared custody,
splitting your finances is finance is one of the #1 reasons people separate. And I think the cool part is for us is it's allowed. I'm the one that doesn't want to see money spent a certain way, and it gives you that freedom to not be concerned with what the other person's doing.
Exactly.
Because we have our own thing, so I don't have no commentary to be had.
Judgment bank account.
Yeah.
There has to be a no judgment bank account. I don't want anybody asking me about my shoes.
No, none of your business. None of your business. If I want to go out and buy 4,500 vibrators with my name on them,
With your name on them? This is Trump.
It just says whoop. But I don't want to have
I did it again. Sorry.
Very good. But you know, I feel like that's very important. It's very important for people to be able to feel like they have the right to spend their money the way they would like to spend their money, and because they earned it. And when you earn it, it's kind of like, damn, why am I pining for this when I can actually go and get something I want that will make me feel good?
Right.
And I'm not doing it because I don't want to be judged. I think that's not good in a relationship.
And it makes for a better relationship, too, if you each respect each other and know, you know what, I might not understand her Oliver Peoples sunglasses, which I love, by the way. But you might not understand. Oh, there you go. But you might not understand them, but, you know, you respect each other and your own interests, and that it makes a better relationship.
And when it doesn't take it out of your pocket, you don't even have to worry about it. You know, and that I think is a nice thing. But of course, we're always worried about money being taken out of our pockets here on the show because we want to make sure that we can serve you guys the way you should be served. So we're going to go and we're going to come right back and maybe we'll have more to say. We'll see. Baby, the Pokemon frenzy has gone completely over the top. People are getting arrested, wandering into traffic, and a woman so dumb. She got stuck. No, this is dumb. She got stuck up a tree while searching for a Pikachu in the cemetery. You can't touch the damn Pikachu because it's on the phone. It's not real. So this bitch got stuck up a tree. Trying to get...
What
that could happen.
Explain what this is.
You know what it is? It's a fun game to learn about the sites where you live, because you can find all kinds of great facts about the city. You can find, if you ever played Pokemon, there are certain characters that you can find that come up on your phone, and you flick it and you get the ball and it absorbs them. But it's a real good way. It's like a treasure hunt, which is great. But you don't want to be driving a car and hitting police cars like the person did yesterday.
That happened.
They hit a police car.
It's crazy. But sometimes, Whoopi,
you can't justify dumb behavior.
Sometimes, like right now, like
Sonny,
there's one very close.
Well, go and get it. Go get it, Sonny. Yeah,
Don't climb the tree.
Go get it.
Well, I want her to take her steps carefully, because 2 men fell off a cliff.
Wait, Sonny, hear this.
Yeah. 2 men fell off a cliff, which you almost fell off the stage.
You almost did, coming off the stage in those heels.
I did, but I think
you didn't get what you wanted, did you? Get your behind over here.
It's like texting and walking. It's the same idea.
At least when you're texting and walking, periodically somebody will look up. These fools, this is what they do. Boom!
It could
fall over a cliff.
Yes.
A cliff.
It could be a bonding experience. I mean, I started playing because my son was playing in the yard, and I saw him kind of running around.
You started playing because we started playing. What you talking about? You're just using your son, girl.
I started playing with my son. I saw my son doing it. I downloaded it. I will admit, I immediately tripped over my dog in my yard, and I trespassed on my neighbor's property. But it was fun.
She came into the dressing room while I was changing today and goes, "Is there a Pokemon in here?"
Because I'm competing now. I'm competing with my son and others.
Yes, but you know what?
It's a nice experience.
But you have to be
an adventure.
Well, you have to be smarter. You can't get going up a tree to get something that is not tangible is not a good idea.
Yeah, but you know what happens? Something happens to adults with these games. It reminds me of my dad. Remember the old school Nintendo, Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
I remember my dad, he got addicted. That's old. No, he got addicted to it, and I remember hearing cursing. He was losing his mind. He was at it to midnight. He was up all night. He was bleary-eyed the next day. It was from that game. I feel like it's an escape, and adults are like, they become children again. It's like, this is my way out.
It's
but you know,
but this will kill you if you're not careful. Go ahead.
It's true.
I'm assuming you can, you use it to find your G-spot. That's what I want. You're searching, right?
No, but I will show you.
After-hours game.
I have an app for that. There's an app for that.
Because maybe, it's a good Father's Day.
Well, when a boy finds her G-spot, we've got a Pokemon service announcement.
Yes.
Please do not play Pokemon Go while driving or operating heavy machinery. Also, please refrain from playing near steep inclines, large bodies of water, and at funerals, cemeteries, churches, mosques, temples, and any other memorials or places of worship. As always, please poke safe. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Outspelling an Emmy.
It's like, and people have, there's no manners with people who are playing Pokemon.
No.
People do walk into places, walk into women's bathrooms. If you want to be worried about folks walking into the bathroom, the people you want to be worried about walking into the bathroom are the Pokemon players.
Yes.
Do get caught up.
Pokemon Go players. Those are the people who are going to shock you in the bathroom when you come out to wash your hands.
Will it be over soon, do you think?
No, this is going to go for a while.
It's
it's fun and people love it.
Incense on it, and then the incense,
I'll come back with updates.
attracts the Pokemon.
Wait, let me, incense, like you smell incense. Again, I'm just going to say it's not real.
Oh, it's not real?
It's not real.
And you can't smell it.
All right.
Okay?
Pokemon
but we'll be right back. But, yeah.
Tomorrow, we're doing our happy dance, cuz.
Must be Friday.
Oh, yeah. And you never know what's going to happen, because T.I. Harris hits the co-host chair. TGIF, all new tomorrow on The View on ABC.
So welcome back. Plus-size supermodel Ashley Graham is getting attacked online for photos where she looks considerably thinner. People are saying she's a sellout who's betraying women who consider her a role model. Is she betraying her fans by losing weight, or is she doing her life?
Well, she's not betraying her fans. She's doing what she does, but the fans like her when she's a little, you know, bigger girl, because that's what they relate to.
Yeah, but maybe the thing is people have to look at themselves and see what their goal is and what they want to be.
Yeah, but every image is of a skinny girl. So now they have a girl who's not skinny, and it's like, yes, that looks like me.
But maybe
and now
she's
she's a skinny thing
she
too.
still looks like she doesn't look small. She's still curvy, and
But she
looks
won't
great.
she won't be considered plus size then anymore.
But to me, it's like
plus size is 14 now.
It's kind of 14 is not that big.
Well,
I'm
no,
sorry.
it's not.
But that's what she was supposed to be, right? She was usually a 14, and she does look smaller. But if she did it for health reasons, listen, that makes senes.
Or
Over a
she
third of
feels
Americans
good.
are obese.
Yeah.
But she looks good either way. She's gorgeous.
She actually, I agree. She actually released a statement, and her statement says, people come to my page and body shame me because I'm too big, because I'm too small, because I'm not good enough for their standards. But at the end of the day, I'm good enough for me. Angles will make anyone look bigger or smaller, and I just happen to know mine. And I say go for it. It's her life. You know, it's her life. You have to please yourself. And whatever reason she has for doing that, she's got to be happy with herself. And people need to stop judging everything that everybody
does. Maybe the shaming should stop and some questions should be asked. How did you do it? Why did you do it? Can I do it? Is this something I should be trying to do? I mean, maybe that's a bit, but then don't go on and be pissed that she's doing her life and you're not.
Well, I don't know if that's... I
think it's people are, especially on social media, they are looking for an opportunity to like cut you down. So I'm waiting for the post I see where every comment is about go you. Like, good for her.
Good on her. You know, you might get a little suspicious of millennials after you hear this, or maybe not. One research found that 37% of millennials think that people should always do the right thing rather than what's best for them. Now, did that make any sense?
No.
I didn't think it did. So run it back, and I'll read it one more time, and I'll read what I saw. You may get a little suspicious of millennials after you hear this one. Research found that only 37% of them think that people should always do the right thing rather than what's best for them. So is this a selfish generation?
I still don't understand.
I didn't understand it either, but that was the question.
They're saying that altruism has sort of gone out of the door, and that these millennials are more self-centered and they're more consumed with what's best for them rather than what's best for everyone in the greater good.
37%.
Doesn't that kind of make sense?
So they're not altruistic.
They're not altruistic. And think about it. The millennials are 18 to 35 or 18 to 32.
Yeah.
They're shaping themselves. They've got to be kind of self-centered. They've got to figure out who they are before they can help other people, I think. I mean, weren't we all a little more selfish when we were 18
I don't
and
know
19?
if it's right to... Are they talking about things like if someone falls in the street, do you stop to help them up and get them to the sidewalk, or do you walk over them? Is that what they're talking? I didn't understand. I didn't understand really what this was about, so that might be why my reading of it was so bizarre. Because I don't know what it means.
I think there is a kind of every man for himself attitude that comes from that generation, but I don't blame them. And I think it's because there's a lot of distrust with technology being with what it is. You have these dating apps out there. You have, everyone is so accessible via text all the time. They walk through life and feel kind of alone. That's the perception I get. I speak at a lot of college campuses. They feel like their relationships are very fragile. It's hard to have a relationship right now and have all the trust with all of these apps. Everyone has access to you all the time. It's a difficult time for them, and I think they feel like, you know what, I got to take care of me. And in taking care of me, sometimes that means that I don't think about you and you and you because I got to worry about me.
It's an age thing, too, because as you get older, you realize we're all in this together, like it or not. And you sort of understand, you know, that it's a little bit of quid pro quo. Also, you do it for me, I do it for you. It's not all about altruism. And I think that they don't know that yet.
And if you're having a very hard time...
As she says, it's because you're self-absorbed at that age.
If you're having that harder time, put the phone down. Put the phone down, go to a bar, meet a person, see if you can have a conversation.
And vote.
Yeah, make sure you get out and vote.
Because that's part of the problem.
Is this the thing? We're going, right? We're going away. Thank you. We'll be right back. Tell people what's happening after the show.
Well, we are streaming after the show at abc.com/theview and on Facebook, whatever that means. I'm not really sure of that.
They know.
Check your Pokemon and find it. And I think we should...
Pokemon and find it. Same thing.
Pokemon.
Yes.
We have a couple of topics, but one of them I think would be, we read that Gwen Stefani, the lovely singer, she says that she's been unlucky in love. And I thought we would explore the fact that whether that means anything. Is it just because there's something wrong with Gwen Stefani, or is she unlucky? You know, in other words, does she have relationship issues? So let us bring that up later.
Ooh,
post your questions and comments, and we may read them, or we may not.
Let us. Wow, that's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Not for me.
You have 30 seconds. What do you think? You think it's about luck?
No, it's never about luck. It's never about luck. Sometimes you're just not with the right person. It happens like that. And you just got to move on.
We'll see what the rest of us think later.
Whatever your luck happens to be today, may you have a great day and, you know, take a little time to enjoy your view, their view, somebody's view.
As the race for the White House officially kicks off, ABC 27